Okay, hello everyone, this is Kevin here. Last tutorial I've done the coverage on how to actually create an account and do a basic setup for using Wave accounting. So today I'm going to talk about how you can set up, customize, and send out your very first invoice uh, to your customer for your first sales. Right. So once you log in, usually before having set up anything, you probably see something like this. Later on, as you start using, you will see a more customized dashboard. So we're going to do invoicing, so you can probably click on this, or if not, right, if you see something else different from this, you can always go to the where my mouse is pointing, settings on the left hand side. Click on it and then go under sales, invoice, customization. Okay, so this is the part where you actually kind of like draft a standard template for your invoice. So there's three options for you to choose from. You can actually click on it to zoom in and see the different layout and designs. So you can pick one, whichever one that you like. Okay, let me just briefly run through. So you can actually input your logo, all right, and that will be the invoice. That will be a sub heading, all right. And then this is the which is your details, your company details, your company name, address, contact details, right? And then this is the customer details, and then the invoice number, date, amount, individual items, etc. Right? And you can also input notes below, which I usually do to say something like how should they go about paying this money and which account should they pay to. So okay, I'm gonna stick with contemporary. So this is the part where you actually choose your company logo. So I've already done one simple ones myself. So you can just upload a logo. That will just appear here. If you want to change it, you can remove it. Make sure you check the display logo portion, and you can play around with some colors in the invoice as well, like red. I think the default is like black or something. Okay, and let's say if you want to DIY your logo, one very good resource that you can use, a free resource, is to go to canva.com, canva.com. Over here, there's a lot of templates which I actually use to do, like you can do logos, you can see you can do YouTube thumbnail, create a menu, so on and so forth, right? So you can just check out this website. If not, if you want something that's a more professional one, you can always engage a professional logo designer to do it for you. Okay, so this just the display part. Okay, we come down into the invoice settings. These are the few fields that you should make some customization to. Right, default payments term, you have these choices, but for me, so far I've always been using the first option, due upon receipt. Default title invoice, so you can see here, back to the example here, the invoice. So if you want something else, then just change it and it will appear accordingly. Default subheading, right? Sometimes people will put company registration number, or you can leave it blank. So let me just come back here. So that is where this Robinson wedding is default subtitle heading. Okay, default footer, that's where it will be below the notes, right? So far, typically I've left it blank, but if you want to, you can do something like thank you for your business or something. Okay, this standard memo is the probably the more important part. All right, appears on each invoice. You can choose to override it when you create invoice. Right. So what do I put here? All right. Typically, I will input the payment terms. Which so once you send the receipt to the invoice to your customer, right, they will actually see it here. So they will know what items are you billing them for, and over here I will put something like, so you can put things like example, you can input payment terms, or more commonly I will put how to pay. So things like your how to pay, like maybe your bank account number, if they are doing a bank transfer, or check return to. So give them the full company name that the check should be returned to, or if you have PayNow, sometimes now I will actually put my UEN number to get people to pay via PayNow, etc., etc. All right, so this is a standard memo that you can actually draft a simple paragraph and actually put it here. Okay, so later on, once I save this, you will see this in the invoice that I create. So I'll just leave it as it is, right? Okay, estimate settings. This is I'll leave this to another video, right? This estimate setting is there's this option under sales where you can actually create estimates. Estimates is, I think in Singapore terms more commonly we'll call it quotation. So that's where you send a quotation to your potential client, and if they are agreeable to it, then you can then convert this into an invoice. So I'll leave this for another time. Okay, over here, then your invoice will have individual column settings. Most of the time, I would say actually all the time, I do not change anything, but you are free to change it if you can be a bit more specific. Quantity, you can change it to hours if you are a freelancer, designer, or maybe you are a bookkeeper charging by the hour. So you can either choose default, by default it's item, so you can change it to product, services, or anything, price, rate, okay, and then the total amount. If not, then it will appear somewhat like this. You can see here. All right, so they change. For this one, is a bit customized, so you see that they change the name to photo services. If not, by default, this will be item. Okay, quantity, rate, and then the final amount. So quantity multiplied by rate give you the amount, and then this subtotal with tax if any, and then you have your final full amount. So yeah, you can play around with it, but for my case, usually I'll just leave it as it is, so I won't do anything. So choose which column your invoice to hide. So you can want to hide anything, but I don't see the point to do so. So just save. Okay, and that's it. You're done. All right. Then let's go to the next part, which is the creation of invoice. I think the easy way would be to go under sales, invoices. Okay, and then from here, you can start creating your invoice. Okay, but before you create an invoice, right, there's something that I think you should consider doing first, which is to set up your products and services. And customers you can do it later, but I think product and services is quite important. Why? Let me show you. So you click on this products and services. You haven't added any products yet. So let me add something. Okay, let's say I don't know, it's like maybe you're selling cakes. Okay, let's say Haha Private Limited is selling cakes. So this is cake. All right, description you can put anything you want. Whole cake for sale. Okay, price. You can leave it 0 because this is something that you can adjust in your invoice. But if let's say all your cakes are standardized at, let's say, $45 per cake, irregardless of any type, then you can put a price here so that you don't have to change it next time. But if it's gonna be different every time, then you can leave it at 0. Okay, sell this product. Okay, income account, right? That's the part. Income account, by now default I only have sales. So for some people, they want to categorize the income account by either by different outlets or different types. So that's where you want to do this setup first. That's why because this is something that you if you don't have this setup, right, you will not be able to change it in your invoice later. So now I only have sales, so maybe I will do an additional income account. All right. Okay, so you can see here, you can choose the one that fits the best. Sales and product. Let me see which one fits. Okay, maybe I'll choose sales retail product. Save. Okay, so now you have an additional sales retail product. Okay, if it is something that you are buying from your vendors, then you can actually check this box as well, and then you can relate it to the relevant expense account that you have set up. But I'm not, so I'll leave it. Right? If there's any sales tax, then you can add in. So in Singapore cases, if there's a GST, you're GST registered, then you should add a new tax. But if not, if you're not GST registered, then you just leave it empty. Okay, save. Okay, there you have it. So I have one item now. So let's go ahead and add another item. Maybe this time round I do ice cream. Right. Okay. Sell this. Right. So you need to, maybe for this ice cream, right, I want to separate it from the sales retail product category. So maybe I'll choose another one. Okay, perhaps under other products and services. Okay, save it. Okay, so now I have two items set up. So depending on what business you are in, and then you can just adjust them accordingly. If you want to change the sales, right, just now the description, you can go under accounting, go back to chart of accounts. All right, and then under income, you can see that these are two items that I have created just now. So if you do not want it, you can always change the name. Say maybe this is for the cake, so I'll just do cake. And then other product, this was for the ice cream one, so I'll just change this to ice cream as well, just to differentiate the different items that I have. Alright, so that's it, I'm done. Let's go back to the invoice creation. Okay, so let's just create your first invoice. Or you always see that this is blue button over here. Just go ahead and click on it. Okay, now this is how it looks like. Okay, remember that so this is the logo. So you can actually further customize it if you want to make any changes to it. So that's the logo that I uploaded. That's the invoice, and that's the so-called the default subheader that I input the company registration number. For now, under my profile, there's only Haha Private Limited in Singapore. So if you want more details to be shown here, you can actually edit your business and contact. Right, so you can, that's where you actually click on it and make the necessary changes. So you can put in your address. All right, let's say Orchard Road, city Singapore, postal code 123456, country Singapore. Input in your number. Right, fax, and if you have any mobile number, and your website if any. Okay, I'll just randomly put something here. So you can see that now your company details will be more fully displayed over here. Okay, your invoice number by default, it will run in running number. So this is your first invoice, you start with 1. And then if you create the second one, you'll start with 2. So far, most of the time, I'll just leave it as it is. But if you are if you have a certain naming way that you want to follow, then you can always make the adjustment to yourself. Some people like to do like this year is 2020 January 13. Some people go by date and then first invoice, etc. But I'll just leave this as 1. Okay, invoice date is by default, it will be the day that you're creating the invoice, which is today. That's the payment due date, because the setting that I had earlier was due on receipt. So, but it can be changed. If you want the invoice to be sent on a later date, you can always choose another date. like February. So then the payment due date, if you want to give them 7 days grace, you can change it accordingly as well. So if we say within 6 days, you put it here on receipt, so you can play around with it. All right, so I'll just change it back to 31st. Okay, customer. So who are you sending to? You can actually set up your list of customer over here on the left column. That you can see here customers. Okay, or you can, as and when you create an invoice, you can do it here as well. So click on the add customer. Then customer will be the business or person. So let's say I am billing to XYZ Private Limited. The email is important because this invoice it will be sent electronically to the person's invoice to the email. So let's just say XYZ at hot. Okay, I want to show you how it looks like, so I'm going to use my own personal email. Okay, phone number, not necessary. If you want, you can put it in. Name, maybe the contact person of the company that you're sending to. Then these are more information if you need billing address, shipping, and account number, if any. All right. Most of the time, I will just use the first page. The rest is, if you want, you can actually create a database out of it, but it's fine. So you just save it. All right. So that's me, Kevin Yo. All right. There's an email address. So if you choose something by error, you can choose a different customer. Then you can create another customer, so on and so forth. Now, then this where you actually add the items. So items, okay. So I've created two, so I'm just going to put both cake and then ice cream. So you can see that cakes, right? You see, this is something that you cannot change inside the invoice. So it is important to do this beforehand, especially if you need to subcategorize your sales items. But if everything is just lumped under one single column called sales, then it doesn't matter, right? So for here, I put under cake. So next time under your profit and loss, right? You will be able to break down your total sales into how much you made from selling cakes and how much you make from selling ice cream. That's the whole purpose of having an income account to subdivide. Quantity, right? Self-explanatory. Probably put 3 cakes, 1 ice cream. Set in the price. Okay. Okay. Here, if there's any text, then you can put it in. Maybe text name is GST 7% if you are GST registered. All right. So you add in if there is, okay, 7%. If don't have, then just leave it blank. You can delete it. Okay, if you make anything wrong, if you don't want this column, you can just click on the rubbish bin button and delete it away. If you want, you can add it back in. Okay, it's default 0 because just now when I created an account, I left it at 0. Okay, when we created this company, the default currency was Sing dollar, so that's why it's in Sing dollar. But you will realize that you can actually bill them in US dollar if you want to. Okay, or Canadian dollar or something, right? So it's pretty interesting. But yeah, Singapore dollar, I leave it there. Right, remember just now I told you about this memo portion, the notes where you actually put in all the different payment terms. So you see that I typed this just now, and that's how exactly that they appear here. So I think this is better to put it here rather than put it in the footer, because footer people may miss it. All right, so I don't think footer is that important, but notes is pretty important. Right, so you might ask them to if you are writing a check, please indicate the invoice number so that you can trace the payment, so and so forth. All the payment instructions, just put it under notes category. Okay, you can preview it. So you look something like this. Okay, you see, thank you for your business notes. Then save and continue. Okay, just have a look at the draft. If everything is okay, approve the draft, and you can send out the invoice, or you can keep sending. You can also set out a reminder. Let's say if the guy doesn't pay you after 7 days, you can set a reminder to send them a reminder, right? So I'll send an invoice. So you can see that this is the email that I created the account from. So depending on who else you give the access to, you can add in other email, and then they can actually send from other email as well. Okay, you can also use Gmail or Outlook, but I think it's better to just send directly from Wave to the person. This is the default email that I input for that customer. If you need to change to another email, you are free to change. All right, you can always change, or you can even CC someone else. You can add another one. The default subject title will always be invoice number from so and so. So if you need to customize, you can always change, like maybe cake and ice cream invoice, and haha or something. Right, up to you. So that's exactly how the guy will see it. Message, type, hi, this is the invoice for your order. All right, and you can send a copy to yourself, and you can also choose to attach the invoice as a PDF. All right. Why there's this option is because if you just send it like this, it will give a hyperlink to the receiver, and from there he will click and open a browser to see the invoice. But if you choose this option as well, there will be a PDF file that is sent as well, so that the guy can actually, your customer can actually download the PDF and save it for their own record. My suggestion to you is always check this box, right? So send it. All right. I'll touch on the Wave mobile app in another video. Okay, there's a mobile app that comes with Wave Invoice that allow you to send invoice on the go as well. And you can also track whether the payment has been made, etc. Okay, so close. Cool. So now the invoice has been sent. So over here you will see that you have created this one invoice. Right, if it's sent, all right, it's sent today. After a while, after today, if it's still not paid, right, because it's overdue, you become overdue, you become a red color. Okay, so you can see some here. There's 0 overdue currently, but there's this amount that's outstanding, right? I'm gonna go inside my email here. Okay, so you can see here that I received this email from Haha Private Limited. So that's the title that I wrote just now, cake and ice cream invoice. So there you see it, logo, company name. I will be able to see this amount. So just like I mentioned, when you send without the attachment, this is the button that I will get, that the customer can click on it. If not, alternatively, right, you can see here that I've attached the PDF, so I can actually download the invoice as a PDF and file it for my accounting purposes. So I think clients will appreciate that. Okay, and if not, then you realize that if they click on it, right, they can actually view I will actually open up a browser, and then I'll be able to see it. Then I have an option to print or download the PDF as well. So I'll see the whole invoice. Okay, so once so basically once the client have paid, right? Let's say they have informed you that they have paid, or you have seen it in their bank account that the money is in. Actually, in fact, here there's a few things you can do. You can view, edit, you can duplicate the invoice. If let's say it's like same content to another person, you can send a reminder manually as well. Or if let's say the client say that, hey, I did not receive your invoice, you can do a resend as well. Export as PDF, print, delete. Okay. Say you have already received the payment. So what you need to do is record the payment. So just see when was the payment date that was made. All right. So let's say he paid the money today, 155 via, let's say, bank payment. Excuse me. and then he pays into your UOB bank account, and you press submit. So if you do that, all right, the invoice will be under the paid status, and then automatically in your Wave system, right, you will also see that they have created a transaction whereby there's $155 entered into your UOB bank account. If someone pays you partially, you can also alter the amount accordingly. So if the guy pays you partially, let's say $70 only, by doing that, right, the invoice will still be under unpaid status, but you will see that out of 155, they have paid $70 and there's still an outstanding amount of $85. So there's some flexibility in this. So let's just assume that he paid the full amount, submit. Okay, payment was recorded. You can send the guy a receipt. Okay, so same thing. If you see that the email is automatically to the same customer, hi, here's your receipt. All right, thanks. So you can send a copy to yourself. If not, then you can just click send. The receipt was sent. Close, then you see that unpaid is gone. It goes under paid status. Right, and then if you were to go under accounting transactions, you will see that there's this transaction that's already created that says that there was an invoice payment to the bank account on this day. It was a deposit of $155, and you will see here that it's the invoice number 1, so you can trace the payment. Okay, and what the customer will get is over here. All right, so okay, you can see that he received that receipt that you sent him for XYZ. Here's your payment receipt. Okay, so or view receipt on web. Right, so it's paid. Okay, so I can the customer can then print this out and keep it as a copy to show that he has already made the payment. So yep, that's it. All right, that's the tutorial on how to create your first invoice and sending out, and how does it work. I think it's a pretty straightforward process. If you guys have any questions regarding this, you can always leave a comment in the description below, and then I'll try my best to answer any queries you might have. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.